Words of significance. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. This is Sir Twiggy, and welcome back for Twiggy Quickie tutorial number 4 for Project Zomboid. This one's going to be a bit more general information oriented, things that are important to know, maybe not necessarily on day one, but things that should always be remembered. Alright, so we've passed our first day, we've survived an entire day, well it will be in 4 hours anyway, and I just said hey by accidentally hitting Q. So that's another important thing to mention. That's another thing that you might do accidentally and not understand what's happening. My little dude just said hey, he screamed hey, basically. Now the reason for including a button like that is to get the attention of zombies, like so. So it can be used for moving zombies away from your windows, getting them away from your house. It does have a use, but if you accidentally click it, then you can screw yourself, especially in situations where you're in a house and you know there's zombies nearby, and then you start screaming and they come and attack the windows and they try and kill you and all that kind of stuff. So, another piece of good general information is try to keep finding better bags. So, for example, here we've got 2 school bags. That's sort of middle of the road. The sort of hierarchy for school bags is going to be your plastic bag, tote bag, school bag, duffel bag, small hiking bag, and then the normal hiking bag, normal hiking bag and then big hiking bag. Let me try that one more time. Plastic bag, tote bag, backpack, duffel bag, normal hiking bag, big hiking bag. So you always find bags in bedrooms. So the bedroom dressers and stuff like that. Now sometimes you can find bedroom dressers out of the bedroom. You can sometimes find them in hallways, the corners of rooms. So there was an alarm clock. Here we've got some underwear. Zombies are following us into this house. Okay, so an important thing to remember. There's zombies knocking on that door. If I open that door, I'm going to have zombies in my face. They could be knocking on this window. An important thing for Project Zomboid is knowing how to minimize your risk. So rather than taking the risk of poking my face out a door where I know there are zombies... Is there a zombie in here? Why are you freaked out about it? Okay, no, there's a zombie there. So there's a zombie at that window. But I also have a window here with no zombie at it. So we're going to hold E and go out this way. So we've minimalized our risk. We don't come across a zombie here. We don't come across a zombie at the front door. Now we're out and safe. So another good piece of general information is to have tactics or strategies to get yourself in and out of locations with the least amount of risk. Now sometimes you are doing everything right and doing fine. You'll be able to sneak in and out through the front door and nobody will ever see you. But as you go up in difficulty from beginner to the survival mode, you do find that these zombies are a lot more alert. They have better hearing. They react more frequently to the noises of other zombies. They react more sort of... noticeably to metagame sounds. Like the whole game steps up in difficulty once you go from beginner to survival. Another important thing to remember for beginner players, another general note of interest. If you find yourself accidentally just getting scratched very frequently, maybe sometimes you don't always get a bite, maybe you push them away in time, but you get a scratch and that winds up becoming an infection thing. An important trait to use while learning the game could be, if you want to include it in your build, thick-skinned. Thick skin gives you a better % chance of not acquiring a scratch or bite. So that can be very helpful while you're learning the game. Another good general piece of information is always keep a track on what time of the day it is. You've got your clock in the top right-hand corner, use it. As the day progresses, it gets darker. It becomes more difficult to see things. In particular, if you're trying to loot and it's become too late, you're going to be in houses that may not have the light switches turned on, or perhaps the power has been cut. And then you're going to get yourself scratched or bit because there's a zombie there you didn't see. Now, in the case of the power still being on, you can turn on light switches, like so. This room is dark. If it were nighttime, now I'd be able to see perfectly. But once the power is cut, then you're taking sort of risk by putting yourself in the situation where you're out in the dark, you can't turn on the lights because the power has been cut, you're exposing yourself to the risk of a bite or scratch. It's always important, too, to remember... Keep looting. Keep trying to find stuff that combines and does things for you. So a good first example of this I'm going to show off when we get back to the base. I forgot my hammer and nails accidentally. I did mean to bring that with me today. Always be grabbing books. Trapping for beginners, farming beginners. I think I already have those, but just in case, if you have room, carry them. Because if you don't use them, you can always burn them. Good fuel. Baseball bat and a big hiking bag. This is the kind of stuff you should be looking for. So in our situation here, we had a storage of 30 in bags with a weight reduction of 60. Now we have a big hiking bag with a capacity of 22 and a weight reduction of 80. So we're upgrading. Now, when you find a bag like this, you're going to want to sort of switch your bags around. Try to get yourself in a safe position, somewhere where you're safe to move your inventory around. Now, in my case, here I'm in a bedroom, the curtains are closed, no zombies are knocking, we're pretty much good. So to make life as easy as possible, what I'm going to do is equip the big hiking bag to primary. Now I've got all 3 bags equipped at once. I have no weapon, which means I'm forced to shove if there's zombies, meaning I'll have to shove and get away somewhere safe. Yes, this is dangerous. There's always a chance that a zombie could come through a window. There's always a chance there could be a metagame noise. But you want to minimize the chance of risk. I could go in a room with no windows. But okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take all the stuff from in here. So click, drag, and come up. If you try to click and drag from this side, you're just going to grab whatever you already have selected. You can also use the unpack buttons, and then you'll unpack it across. But for sake of speed, I find it easiest to come here, select everything, and just repack it right into another bag, rather than dropping it on the ground and then pulling it back in again. You're sort of cutting a step out. So now he's going to move everything out of this bag into this bag. And as we do it, you'll see my carry capacity goes up and up and up because everything is getting more weight reduction. So now we put our last books in here. And my weight has gone down to 5.15. Now what we're going to do, just for sake of ease, what you can do is unequip these, but it's a bit faster. Just pull them across and drop them. Now they're unequipped. Now we can take this guy and unequip him. And now we're going to equip it on our back. We still have storage space. We've got 2 free hands, so we're going to take advantage of it and keep the bat in 2 hands. Now my 2 school bags, I'm going to keep, because I might need a secondary bag later on to put in my offhand, or I might want to organize loot at home, because you can put things in bags and then name them. So right now, for example, I'm going to rename this to my primary bag. So I always know this is the bag that I have on my back, corresponding to this top guy right here. Now, I told you I would mention keys. We haven't really come across any keys on zombie corpses and stuff. Let me actually check in here real quick if there's a zombie in here. No, there's no zombie in this house. So if there's a zombie in a house, you can kill it, and it'll have a % chance to have the key to that house. The one key you start with is the key to your starting house, which means you can lock and unlock those doors. You may be saying, I'm in single player, what's the point of locking a door? Well, locking a door gives it more strength. So if you lock doors, it takes longer for zombies to beat through them. She didn't have a key. Zombies around the outsides of houses can have keys too. Now we're going to look in here for a zombie. Again, we're on beginner mode, so there's going to be less zombies in general and less zombies in houses to boot. Bathrooms are the primary suspect for zombies. Again, check in here for medical items, and there are some. We've got a bottle of disinfectant, another bottle of disinfectant, some bleach, some bath towels. Don't drink the bleach. Everybody tries to get beginners to drink the bleach. Don't drink the bleach. It's just a bad fun time. It's not a fun time. Okay, so now I'm going to do that thing I was talking about earlier. For my own personal preference, I like to have a bag in the offhand. If things get really dire, I can always drop it. It takes like a second. Boom, drop. Now I've got 2 free hands. I can re-equip that with 2 hands for fighting circumstances. But now I can take all this stuff that's perishable, put it in here. Again, I'm going to do the same thing here where I sort by category to bring the perishables to the top here. I'm going to select all of this perishable stuff. I don't think the Chardonnay is actually perishable. Put it in this bag. Organize by name again. And now when I get home, I know everything in here has to go in the fridge so that it doesn't spoil on me. You want to keep your perishables and eat those first for as long as possible so that you can always have a fallback food supply of cans. Another important thing to be looting for as a general point are those garbage bags I was talking about to make rain barrel collectors as a carpenter. Alright, so the last thing I'm going to go over on today's episode is going to be the warehouses. There are a few warehouses in West Point, but they are not as big or as plentiful as the ones in and around Maldra. I'm going to show you my primary warehouse that I always go to, because this is going to be a place where you find a lot of the things you need for your continued survival. Things that you need before you can push off out into the wilderness and try and make your little stronghold, make your little base. as I said, you notice that the zombies in beginner mode are a little bit easier, so you can get used to the game, get used to the in-game sort of metrics and progression before you jump into a really full difficulty game. Now, that being said, you can also choose to go into sandbox. If you're really still having a hard time with it, turn the zombies even lower, make them stupider, maybe turn them off while you try and figure out, even to get used to the controls. Whatever it takes to help you. Do whatever you require. I think beginner's a good place to start, though. Alright, so, again, I've got the map memorized. Up here, in the top north corner here of Maldra, we're going to have our first motherfucking warehouse. Now, there are a few zombies around here. What we're going to try and do is get in without too much attention being drawn to ourselves. We do have 4 trailers there. So we're going to try and sort of lose their focus. Did he see me, or is he just meandering? He saw me. Now, if we can break line of sight here quick enough. Now, I'm not sure if that guy saw me or not jumping in through this window. So what we're going to do is we're going to be aware of that. You want to get in here as clean as possible. Alright, first we're going to have a look around and see if there's anybody in here. And there is. There's 2 zombies in here. Alright, so we're going to try and fight them on this side of the building, where there are less zombies to hear it. So we're going to start with this guy. Just give him a little shove. And then step on his face. There you go. Game over. Game over for Zombie Man. Same thing for you. Push him. Step on the face.